Someone is commenting everywhere about your status, that you live like a wanderer. Listen carefully, for I am speaking now, not in thunder, not in fire, but in the quiet space between your breaths. I see the words they write about you, the judgments they scatter like dust in the wind, and I hear the laughter that follows your name into rooms you have never entered. They think they know you because they watch from a distance, because they measure life by noise and attention, because they believe stillness means emptiness. But I tell you this, nothing about you has gone unnoticed by me. Every step you take, even the ones that seem to lead nowhere, is written in light where their eyes cannot reach. They say you live like a wanderer, as if wandering were a curse. Yet they do not understand that I often lead my chosen ones through paths that make no sense to the crowd. When I move you quietly, when I remove you from the center of attention, it is not punishment. It is preparation. The seed does not grow on the surface where everyone can see it. It grows buried in darkness, pressed by the soil, unseen and misunderstood. And still, it becomes what it was always meant to be. So let them speak. Their words cannot cancel what I have already ordained. I know there are nights when you question yourself, when the silence feels heavier than noise, when you wonder why your life does not look like the lives they celebrate. I know you have scrolled past smiles that seem brighter, successes that seem faster, and paths that seem easier. I know you have asked me in whispers you were afraid to speak out loud. Why does it feel like I am standing still while everyone else is moving forward? But hear me now, stillness is not delay when I am involved. Stillness is alignment. I pause you because timing matters more than speed. They comment on your status because they are uncomfortable with what they cannot define. You do not chase what they chase. You do not move when they expect you to move. You do not announce every step, and that unsettles them. People who live by noise fear quiet faith. People who live by comparison fear those who walk by calling. And people who need approval cannot understand someone who is learning to listen only to my voice. I see how you have been underestimated, how your patience has been mistaken for weakness, how your kindness has been interpreted as lack of ambition. But I am not building you to impress spectators. I am shaping you to withstand storms. A loud life collapses easily when the wind changes. A rooted life remains when everything else falls. You are being rooted, even when it feels like nothing is happening above the surface. Do not let their commentary rewrite your identity. They speak from what they see, but I speak from what I know. I know the weight you carry silently. I know the battles you fight without applause. I know the discipline it takes for you to keep going when there is no immediate reward. And I know the future I am unfolding for you, piece by piece, in ways that would overwhelm you if you saw it all at once. There is mystery around you because I have hidden certain things on purpose. Not everyone deserves access to your next chapter. Not every eye is meant to witness your becoming. I veil you for protection, not rejection. What I am growing in you is fragile at first, and exposure too early would damage it. That is why your journey feels private, even lonely at times. But loneliness in my presence is never abandonment. It is intimacy. They think you live like a wanderer, but they do not see the map I have placed within you. You are not lost. You are led. You are being guided by instructions that cannot be crowdsourced, by wisdom that does not trend, by truth that cannot be liked or shared easily. And yes, it confuses those who rely on external validation to feel secure. But you are learning to stand even when no one is clapping. I am aware of the moments when doubt tries to settle in your mind like fog, when the voices around you grow louder than mine. That is when you must remember, I do not speak in competition with noise. I speak in certainty. My words do not rush you, they anchor you. When I say you are chosen, I am not flattering you. I am informing you. When I say you are protected, I am not promising comfort. I am assuring purpose. Watch carefully now, because a shift is coming that will not announce itself with spectacle. It will come quietly, like dawn. One day you will realize that the very things they mocked were the things that kept you steady. Your patience, your restraint, your refusal to become bitter, your decision to keep your heart soft in a hard world, these were not accidents. These were tools. And when the moment arrives, you will use them naturally, without effort, because they have been woven into who you are. Do not rush to explain yourself. Explanations drain energy that is meant for building. Let your life speak when the time is right. Silence, when guided by me, is not surrender. It is strategy. I am teaching you how to move without seeking permission, how to trust without constant reassurance, how to stand without an audience. These lessons cannot be learned in comfort or popularity. They are learned in the quiet places where only my voice remains. I see the tears you wiped away before anyone noticed. I see the prayers you thought were too small or too repetitive to matter. I see the times you almost gave up but chose to take one more step instead. Every one of those moments matters. Nothing offered in sincerity is ever wasted. Even now, while they are commenting, comparing, and speculating, I am working in ways they cannot interrupt. Remember this, people comment when they do not control. They label when they do not understand. They criticize when they are uncomfortable with difference. But their words have no authority over your destiny. Only my word does. And my word over you is not confusion, not failure, not insignificance. My word over you is growth, endurance, and revelation at the appointed time. There will come a moment when the same ones who questioned your path will wonder how you arrived where you are. They will say it happened suddenly, not knowing it was built slowly. They will call it luck, not knowing it was obedience. They will admire the strength without understanding the process that formed it. And you will not need to correct them, because by then, you will know who you are and whose you are. Until that moment, stay close to me. Let me be louder than the comments. Let me define you when the world tries to reduce you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not living the wrong life. You are living a life that cannot be rushed, a life that must be unfolded carefully, a life that carries weight beyond what is visible now. And as I continue to speak, as I continue to guide you through this season of quiet becoming, there is something deeper I need you to understand about why this wandering, this waiting, this hiddenness is essential for what is coming next. Because the next phase will require a heart that has learned to trust me even when the path made no sense. And I am about to reveal why all of this had to happen before you could step into what I am preparing for you, but not yet, because there is still one more layer of truth you must be ready to receive, and I will not release it until you are fully listening, because what I am about to unfold is not information, it is transformation, and transformation cannot be rushed without breaking the vessel meant to carry it. You have wondered why your life feels like a long corridor with many doors closed. Why answers come slowly, why clarity arrives in fragments instead of fullness. This is because I am teaching you how to walk by trust and not by certainty. Certainty makes people careless, trust makes them attentive. I am sharpening your perception, training your spirit to recognize my movement even when it is subtle. The world teaches you to react to noise, but I am teaching you to respond to truth. That is why your journey has required patience others were never asked to learn. They look at you and assume nothing is happening because nothing is loud. But the deepest works I do are never loud. Mountains rise without announcement. Rivers carve valleys without applause. And hearts are remade without witnesses. You are in the middle of such a work. Every delay you resented was actually protection. Every closed door redirected you away from what would have drained you. Every season of isolation refined your discernment. You were not being pushed aside, you were being pulled closer. Do you remember the moments when you felt out of place, when you could not fully belong anywhere? That was not rejection. That was alignment. I was loosening your grip on places, people, and patterns that could not carry you into what is next. Comfort can become a cage when it keeps you from growing. Familiarity can become a ceiling when it limits your vision. So I allowed discomfort, not to harm you, but to awaken you. There is a reason you have learned to sit with unanswered questions. There is a reason you have learned to stand even when no one affirms you. There is a reason you have learned to listen more than you speak. These are not accidental traits. They are prerequisites. What I am entrusting to you cannot be handled by someone who needs constant reassurance. It requires steadiness. It requires humility. It requires a heart that does not panic when outcomes are unclear. I know you have felt overlooked. I know you have felt like an afterthought in rooms where others were celebrated. I know you have questioned whether your efforts mattered. But hear me clearly now, being unseen by people does not mean you are unseen by me. In fact, there are seasons when I intentionally remove the spotlight because exposure would attract interference. When something is valuable, it is guarded. When something is fragile, it is shielded. You have been both. There are truths I could have revealed earlier, but you would have misinterpreted them. There are promises I could have fulfilled sooner, but you would have mishandled them. Timing is not about my ability, it is about your readiness. I am not withholding good from you. I am preserving you for it. And one day you will look back and realize that the waiting was not empty, it was instructional. You have been learning restraint in a world that rewards impulse. You have been learning depth in a culture obsessed with speed. You have been learning integrity when shortcuts were available. These lessons do not trend. They do not draw crowds. But they build foundations that do not crack when pressure arrives. What is coming will require you to stand firm while others panic, to speak truth while others chase approval, to remain grounded while others are shaken. That is why the comments do not disturb me. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Let them misunderstand. Their words cannot alter what I have written. The ink of my purpose does not fade under criticism. You are not defined by how visible you are, how fast you move, or how loudly you announce progress. You are defined by obedience, by faithfulness in small things, by consistency when no one is watching. There will come a time when clarity unfolds rapidly, when connections align unexpectedly, when opportunities open without force. It will feel sudden to others, but not to you. You will recognize it as the natural outcome of a long season of preparation. You will move with confidence not because everything is guaranteed, but because you know me. And that knowing will steady you more than certainty ever could. Until then, guard your heart. Not from people, but from comparison. Comparison distorts vision. It convinces you that different means deficient. But I have never needed you to be like anyone else. I need you to be aligned. The uniqueness of your path is not a flaw, it is the feature. If your journey looks different, it is because your assignment is different. Pay attention to the quiet confirmations. The peace that arrives without explanation. The strength that appears when you thought you had none left. The wisdom that surfaces at the exact moment it is needed. These are signs of my presence. These are reminders that you are not wandering aimlessly. You are walking with me, step by step, even when the destination is not yet visible. I am aware that part of you still fears being left behind, still worries that time is slipping away. But time is not your enemy. Impatience is. Trust me with the pace. Trust me with the process. Trust me with the parts you cannot yet understand. I am not late. I am precise. And I am far more invested in your becoming than you realize. There are layers within you that have not yet been activated. Strengths that are still dormant. Insights that will surface when needed. I have been building you from the inside out, because outward success without inner stability collapses. I refuse to place you somewhere your character cannot sustain. So I shape your character first. Quietly. Thoroughly. Patiently. You will not always feel strong, but you will be resilient. You will not always feel confident, but you will be anchored. You will not always know the next step, but you will know who to trust. And that will be enough. More than enough. As for those who comment, who observe from a distance and draw conclusions without understanding, release them. Their opinions are not assignments. Their judgments are not directions. You are not required to carry what they project onto you. Lay it down. Keep moving. Keep listening. Keep becoming, because soon, though not yet, you will notice a subtle shift within yourself before anything changes around you. A certainty that does not shout. A readiness that does not rush. A calm that does not depend on circumstances. That is how you will know the season is changing. Not by noise, not by validation, but by alignment, and when that moment arrives, when the wandering finally reveals its purpose, when the waiting finally shows its wisdom, when the silence finally gives way to clarity, you will understand why I asked you to trust me here. Why I asked you to walk without full visibility, why I asked you to endure misunderstanding without explanation. But I am not finished speaking to you yet. There is still something beneath all of this, a truth about who you are becoming, not just what you will do, a revelation about the role you will play that requires even deeper stillness to receive, and before I release that, you must remain attentive, because what comes next will challenge the way you have seen yourself until now. And I will continue when you are ready for me to go on. Now listen with your whole being. Because this is where the meaning settles, and the wandering finally finds its name. What you are becoming is not defined by a role, a title, or a visible position. You are becoming a carrier of depth in a shallow world, a keeper of steadiness in uncertain times, a quiet witness to truth when truth is often shouted without wisdom. This is why your life has felt heavier at times, why you sense more than you say, why you notice what others overlook. You were never meant to skim the surface of life. You were shaped to move beneath it, where roots grow and foundations are laid. Many people live reacting to circumstances. You are learning to live responding to purpose. That distinction matters more than you know. Reaction is loud and short-lived. Purpose is quiet and enduring. The reason you have been slowed down is because what flows through you must be clean, not rushed. A hurried heart cannot hold clarity. A restless spirit cannot carry wisdom. So I have been teaching you how to wait without despair, how to hope without demand, how to trust without needing proof. You once thought the goal was arrival, reaching a place where questions stop and certainty begins. But now you are learning that maturity is not the absence of questions, it is the presence of peace even when questions remain. You are becoming someone who does not fall apart when things are unresolved. That strength will serve you more than answers ever could. There will be people drawn to you who cannot explain why. They will feel calm around you. They will feel understood without being analyzed. They will feel safe without being controlled. This is not accidental. This is the overflow of the work done in hidden seasons. You are being shaped to influence without force, to lead without noise, to impact without spectacle. Do not underestimate the power of a life that is aligned. Alignment speaks louder than arguments. Integrity speaks louder than announcements. Consistency speaks louder than charisma. These are the languages you are learning to speak fluently. And when the time comes, you will not need to raise your voice to be heard. Your presence will be enough. I know there is still a part of you that fears insignificance. Release that fear. Insignificance is not measured by visibility. Some of the most essential things in existence are unseen. Breath is unseen. Gravity is unseen. Roots are unseen. And yet nothing functions without them. You are learning to value what sustains, not just what shines. The wandering you resented was teaching you discernment. The waiting you questioned was teaching you endurance. The silence you struggled with was teaching you how to listen. None of it was wasted. None of it was random. Each season added a layer, strengthened a weakness, softened a sharp edge, deepened your compassion. You are not late to your life. You are arriving exactly on time for the version of you that can handle what is ahead. There will still be days when doubt tries to return. When old voices echo. When comparison knocks at your door. When impatience whispers that nothing is happening. When that happens, remember this moment. Remember that I spoke when things were quiet. Remember that clarity does not always come with excitement. Sometimes it comes with peace. Keep choosing honesty over performance. Keep choosing depth over distraction. Keep choosing faithfulness over speed. These choices are building something in you that cannot be shaken, and when your path finally becomes visible to others, when your direction no longer looks like wandering, when your life begins to make sense from the outside, do not harden your heart toward those who misunderstood you. They only spoke from what they knew. You were being led by what they could not see. Walk gently. Stay grounded. Remain teachable. Do not abandon the quiet disciplines that sustained you in the hidden season. They will keep you steady in the open one. You are seen. You are guided. You are becoming. And you are exactly where you need to be. Amen.